Hello everyone, good evening all of you. Okay, so let's start with the today's session. So in the last class we have started the second chapter, that was probability and statistics. Okay, and we first of all discovered about some terms that are used in this chapter like random experiment, event, sample space and so on. Then we discussed the types of event and we have formulated some mathematical relationship for their respective probabilities. So if you remember, if I say for two events this probability is 0, then what are A and B? If I say probability of A intersection B is 0, then what kind of events are A and B? Mutually exclusive. Whenever you are given this condition that their intersection is 0, then the events are said to be mutually exclusive. And if I say that probability of A union B is 1, then what kind of events are they? When A and B are exhaustive, then their union is, probability of their union is 1, because we have seen that exhaustive are what kind of events? That if I include all the elements of A, if I include all the elements of B, and by combining those if I get the sample space, then those kinds of events are known to be exhaustive events. Okay. Then we studied about independent events. What was the relationship for the independent events? What was the relationship for independent events? Reply me in the comments. Okay, so yes, you are correct only. For intersection, this probability is not 0, it is PA times PB if the elements are, or if the events are independent. Yes. So when this intersection is 0, they are mutually exclusive. When intersection is PA into PB, then they are independent. So from these two mathematical relationships, we can directly convey this point that mutually exclusive events are definitely your dependent kind of events. Mutually exclusive are always dependent events because its intersection is not PA into PB but 0. Yes, so mutually exclusive are always dependent, that we concluded in the last class. Okay. Now after that we studied what is the law of addition of probability, and from here we calculated the value of A union B for any two general kind of events. So it was found to be PA plus PB minus PA intersection B. And then we studied the law of multiplication, where we use the concept of conditional probability, and we wrote this as PB into P A given B, or similarly PA into PB given A. These all things we have discussed in the last class. Okay, and we started solving some questions also on these concepts. So today we will continue with the questions first, and then we will read about this topic, which is total probability and Bayes theorem. Basically, if this will become very easy if you understand all these concepts, and then we will start with the important part of the random variables. Okay, so we will just introduce them today and we will just see the types and so on. Okay, so let's start today's lecture. So I can see that many of you have already attempted this question. So the rest of you who have not attempted, try the question displayed on the screen. So, I'll again remind you that how to attempt any question from probability. First of all, just from the question, just try to fit in words what is your random experiment, then try to fit in words what is your sample space, and then figure out the number of the elements in sample space, then figure out the favorable cases, and then just go for the probability. That is what we will be following here. So, I will just read the question once. So 3 fair cubical dice are thrown simultaneously. 3 fair dice are thrown simultaneously. Simultaneously means what? All of them are thrown together. The probability that all 3 dice have the same number of dots on the faces showing up. So these dice have some dots printed on them. You have to find out the probability for the case when all the 3 dice will be having the same color. So let's see what is happening over here. What is the random experiment? The random experiment is to throw 3 dice all together. This is the experiment. So sample space will be what? Sample space will be the number of combinations that can be number of combinations that can be formed on these 3 dice. So first of all, I can get on all the dice as 1, 1, 1. Then I can get on the first 2 dice as 1 and then third as 2. And so on, we will find out all the cases. But there is a general rule. If you are rolling n dice together, the sample space becomes 6 to the power n. Similarly, if you are tossing n coins together, then the sample space will become 2 to the power n. Because here n is 3, so sample space is 6 to the power 3. Okay, you can just calculate this sample space also by writing down the sets like this: 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, and so on. You will find out, if you calculate all those, you will get 6 to the power 3. Okay, now favorable cases. What are the favorable cases? For your probability, you need that the number on each of the die should be same. So what will be your favorable cases? Favorable cases will be those where you are getting either 1, 1, 1 on all the dice, or this can be your other case. Okay, simply this can be your third case. Similarly, this can be your fourth case. So how many cases will you get? The total number of favorable cases that you will get from here will be just 6, because only 6 numbers are possible on each die. Okay, so it depends upon how many number you can get on one die. The other 2 die will have the same number. That's why it only depends upon how many number you are having on your one die. So we have in total, on one die we have in total 6 numbers possible. So we will say there are 6 favorable cases like this, and the probability will become 6 by 6 cube, that is 1 by 36. This is your answer. Understood? Any doubt in this question? So 4 fair coins are tossed simultaneously. Probability that at least 1 head and 1 tail turns up. 1 head and 1 tail should be there. For minimum 1 head and 1 tail should be there. That is the required probability. Okay, reply to me, what will be the sample space? First of all, random experiment is tossing of 4 coins. Yes? So what is your sample space? I've already told you, if you are tossing the coin n time, the sample space is 2 to the power n. Similarly, if you are tossing the coin 4 times, sample space is 2 to the power 4. Yes, good. Everybody has written correctly. Okay. Now, what will be the favorable cases? What will be the favorable cases? So, if you look for favorable cases, first of all, you have total 16 sample space. So, in all those, if you look for at least 1 head and at least 1 tail, okay. So, instead of looking for that, because at least case includes all those cases where heads is greater than 1 also and tails is greater than 1 also. Okay. So, instead of finding out the probability of at least 1 head and 1 tail, what we will say, we will just find out the probability that there is no head and no tail, because only this will be the case where we will not get any of them to be at head or tail. So we need at least 1. So we will say it is nothing but the 1 minus of 0 head and 0 tail. Have you understood this thing? Okay. So that's what I have said here. Now, what will I say? I am not writing favorable cases to this case, but I can say that to this case there are 2 favorable cases. No heads means this will be the favorable case. Yes or no? For no heads case, this will be the favorable case, and for no tail case, this will be the favorable case. So how many favorable cases are there? Only 2. So we will say 2 by 2 to the power 4. That is 1 minus 1 by 2 cube. 7 by 8 is your answer. Understood? So I can see varied answers A, B, C. Everybody is replying differently. So first of all, let me ask you, for the question given on the screen, what is your random experiment? What is the random experiment in this question? Question given on the screen, not on board. This is your next question. First of all, attempt this one. So, what is your Random experiment, please give me in words what is your random experiment. So samples, the random experiment is to pick a child from the society which contains n families. Don't get confused that the random experiment is of picking the family. If the random experiment is of picking the family, then the sample space will be your n. While if the random experiment is of picking a child, then the sample space will be your total number of children in that society, and that is not n here. Okay, so the only confusion in this question is that you should not take your sample space to be n, because your random experiment is not of picking a family but of picking a child. So sample space will definitely be the total number of children in the society. Yes? Yes or no? That is pick the child from family with children too. So that is not a random experiment, that is a thing that you are required. Okay? Random experiment is just to pick the child. Now it can have two or basically three results, three outcomes. What all outcomes can be there? That it may be a child from one children family, it may be a child from two children family, or it may be a child of three children family. So random experiment is of picking a child. Okay. So what is your sample space? If they have given n families and they have given you this data that 50% of the family have three children. So because of these 50%, how many children you will have? So you will say these are the families with 3 children and each is having 3. So multiplied by 3. What is this number that I have written over? It is the number of children belonging to 3 children family. Then you will add all those children which belong to 2 children family. So those are 30% of the family. So 30% of n into 2. And lastly you will add remaining 20% of n have 1 children. So these are your total number of children in the family. Understood or not? So this, if you calculate, your sample space will come out to be 2.3 n. Now what all will be the favorable cases? What is required? You require that the child picked should be from second or 2 children family. So you know how many such children are there in this society. You know that this is the number of such children. So that will be your favorable case. So if you calculate this value, that will be equal to 0.6 n. So the answer will be, just divide this 0.6 n divided by, so 6 by 23. This is your answer. Understood? So yes, B is the answer. All of you who have answered B, they are correct. It is not given any, you have not been given any condition. You are just asked that if you pick a child, then what is the probability that he is from 2 children family. There is no condition imposed on it. Yes or no? So I'll read that question which I have written on the board. 2018 EE question. A class of 12 children have 2 more boys than girls. 2 more boys than girls. One data is given to you. And a group of 3 children are randomly picked from this class to accompany the teacher on a trip. Now what is the probability of the group accompanying the teacher contains more girls than boys? That is asked in this question. Probability of, in this 3 children's group, what is the probability that there will be more girls than the boys? So sample space is what? Sample space is the total number of ways in which 3 children can be picked up from these 12 children. That is your sample space. Yes, and now this is nothing but the combination. You have to select or combine 3 things from a group of 12 things. So that you already know, we have discussed in the last class, that is given by 12C3. The number of ways in which 3 things can be selected from a group of 12 things is given by 12C3. Understood? Okay, this will be your sample space. Now tell me what will be the favorable cases. Or just tell me in the words what will be the favorable cases. Do not give me the number. Just in words reply what will be the favorable cases. Please reply whatever you are thinking. Don't get any insecurity that my answer will be wrong or right. Okay. Making mistakes now is very good for you because from those mistakes you can learn. But making mistakes in the final GATE exam will not be a good thing. So make mistakes, make a lot of them and learn from them. That is the thing we need to do. So if I write in words, many of you are able to answer. If I write in words, I need the number of girls to be more than the number of boys. So first of all, I will need to find out how many total boys are there and how many total girls are there. So for that, the first line is given to you that if I say that the number of boys are, let's say B. If the number of boys are denoting by B and number of girls denoting by G, so this condition, first line, what is meant by that? That the class have 2 more boys than girls. So if this is the number of boys, then it will be 2 more than the number of girls. Okay, and you know one condition that B plus G will definitely be equal to 12. So using these two equations, you can directly find out what is B and G. Can you find out? B and G. Very easy. Okay, they will be obviously whole number. They will always obviously be whole number. So see whether this is satisfying or not. B is 7 and G is 5. Yes? Good. Why 12 P3 is not used here? P means what? We have discussed in the last class. P means arrangements. I do not want here that whether the first one is girl or the second one is girl or the third one is girl. I am just focused on that point that from these 3 people selected, okay, from these 3 people selected, what is the number of girls and what is the number of boys? I do not require any order in which they are selected. I am not worried about their order, that if the first one is boy or not, if the second one is boy or not, and so on. I am just focused on this thing that I need to pick any of the 3 children from the group of 12. And that picking up or the selection of this or the selection process can be done only by 12C3, not in 12P3. So if you are able to solve this, you will get number of boys as 7 and number of girls as 5. Now my favorable cases are the cases where the number of girls are more than boys. Okay, so what are the favorable cases? So most of you have been mistaken here. Favorable cases will be like this, that 2 girls and 1 boy. This is one of the favorable case. Or it may also happen that there are all 3 girls. This is also the case where the number of girls are greater than the boys. Boys number is 0 and girls is 3. So definitely these 2 cases are your favorable cases. Do not get confused that only this one is your favorable case. 3 girls is again the case where girls are more than the boys. Yes or no? That is why this is your favorable cases. Now if you find out what will this number be. So I have told you in the last class, wherever you see and, there will be multiplication, and wherever you see or, there will be addition. I have told you in the last class. And because they are occurring together, that means intersection is there. For intersection you multiply the probabilities, and because either this can occur or this can occur, so you know that for OR case we use A union B, that means addition of the probabilities. Okay, so for this case the favorable cases will be for getting 2 girls from these 5 girls, the number of ways are 5C2, and because of this and we will multiply with 7C1. 2 girls from 5 and 1 boy from 7. And then there is a OR, so I'll add them with 3 girls. Number of ways in which 3 girls can be selected will be 5C3. These are your favorable cases. Solve this to get the required probability. So required probability will be equal to 5C2 into 7C1 plus 5C3 divided by 12C3. Let's solve this. 5C2, 7C1, 5C3. Do you know this thing? What is this C? C denotes the combination. If I say that from a group of 5 things I need to select 2 things, or if I say that from a group of 5 things I need to select 3 things, both quantities will be the same. Yes or no? If there are 5 persons here, A, B, C, D and E. 5 persons are there. If I want to make a group of 3 or if I want to make the group of 2, that will be the same numbers, because as soon as you make a group of 3, the other 2 are grouped together. Yes or no? So, from here, we can conclude that NCR is the same as NCN minus R. This is a property. So, have you understood this? NCR will be always equal to NCN minus R. So, 5C2 is equal to 5C3 from that logic. Yes? So, I can take out this 5C2 or 5C3 as common. I have taken out this as common. And there is 7C1 plus 1 here and divided by 12C3. Okay, now 5C3, how to calculate 5C3? I am writing over here. If you are not understood, then please ask. So 5C3 means 5 factorial by 3 factorial into 2 factorials. 7C1 will be 7 factorial by 6 factorial into 1 factorial plus 1 divided by 12 factorial by 9 factorial into 3 factorial. If you solve this, you can write it like this. I hope you are able to solve this. So this 3 factorial cancelled, 6 factorial cancelled, 9 and 9 factorial cancelled. What is the remaining part here? 5 by 4 into 2 factorial. 5 by 4 into divided by 2. Then we have 7 plus 1. 1 factor is 1, so 8. And in division we have 12 into 11 into 10 divided by 3 into 2. Yes? So 3 into 2 is 6. And this is 2, okay, and this will give you what? 2, so 80 divided by 220, 8 by 22, 4 by 11, okay, all of you are getting 4 by 11 as the answer. Values, what is the calculator? Use the calculator and find out the decimal value of 4 by 11. Decimal value of 4 by 11. Do you have calculators? Check with that calculator. I'll also bring one calculator. So, what is this value? 4 by 11. 0.3636. Okay. 0.36. And if I go by the options, what is the value of 324? So both of these values are approximately same. That's why that is your answer. That is what the trick was here. Okay, in this question, that is the trick that they have. Server error is there. So are you able to see this is the correct option, because the numerical value of the option B and 4 by 11 is the same. Okay, next attempt this question. So it is given that x and y are two random independent events. Condition given independent. From this word itself, you should be able to know that probability of x intersection y will be what? Px into Py. We have proved it yesterday or in the last class, yes? So it was given that P of x is 0.4 and P of x union yc. What do you mean by YC? What do you mean by YC? This YC, what do you mean by YC? So this is a set theory term which is known as complement of Y. So YC is that set which is the counterpart or complement of your Y set. So all those elements which are not included in Y are said to be forming the set Y complement. Okay, yes, good. So all of you know this. Now this is given to you and you are required X union Y. First of all, if you know your law of addition of probability, then through that you can write this as Px plus Py minus Px intersection Y. Basic thing, law of addition. Okay, very easy question it was, and most of you have answered it also. Vibhuti, option B. Px value is given to you. Py you actually don't know, let it be. And x intersection y, from this condition of independency, we can say that it is Px into Py, and Px is itself 0.4 into Py. Yes? Now you can see that Py is common out here. So 0.4 plus Py into 1 minus 0.4. So it is 0.4 plus 0.6 times of Py. Now you have been given one more condition, and using this you can find out what is your Py. So again, applying the law of addition, you can write this as Px plus Py complement Px intersection y complement. Now tell me, if x and y are independent, then obviously x and y complement will also be independent only. Okay, very easy. If x and y are independent, then x and y complement are also independent. So I'll just write down like this. And because I need the value of Py, so I'm writing down this as 1 minus Py. This is equal to 0.7, this 0.4 taken this side, so it becomes 0.3. Okay, so 1 minus Py minus 0.4 plus 0.4 Py. Just basic algebra it is to solve this problem. So 1 minus 0.4 is 0.6. Yes, and if I take this side, that will be minus. So Py is minus Py plus, so it is minus 0.6 Py. From here you can solve Py to be 0.5. 0.3 divided by 0.6 will be 0.5. So substituting here, you will get this as 0.6 into 0.5. This will become 0.30. So it is 0.7. 0.7 is your answer. You can put the intersection value to be 0 only when they are mutually exclusive. But here it was not given you to mutually exclusive. Just turn the pages, what we have studied in the last class. Diagram is not possible for this independent events. I have told you yesterday. Take that example of one coin on one hand and the die on the other hand. So getting head on the first hand and 6 on the second hand are independent event because they lie in different sample spaces. So you cannot discuss about their intersections using the Venn diagram because they are existing in different universes. Okay, but using the multiplication law, we have derived that intersection for this independent events is the multiplication of respective probabilities. So turn the pages and revise. 0.2, 0.015. Okay, let's see. Okay, so candidates are asked to come to the interview with 3 pens. Each candidate is taking 3 pens, and all those 3 pens can be among the 4 colors which are black, blue, green and red. Now you are required the probability that what is the probability of getting all the 3 pens of the same color. This is what that has been asked. Now what will be the sample space? What is the experiment here? Is the experiment is of picking a pen or is the experiment of picking a color? Tell me. What is an experiment here? Is the experiment of picking 3 pens or is the experiment of picking 3 pens of some colors? The experiment is to pick the color because 3 pens are actually fixed. This quantity is fixed for you. You can't change them, but what you can change is that what is random over here. What is random over here is that what color will be all those pens will be having. Okay, that is the random thing here. So if you want to select 3 pens and you have 4 possible colors, then how many ways are there to pick up the 3 pens. So for that purpose, what we will do, we will just do the task that we have done earlier. That I will say that for this first pen, this is, let's say, first pen, I have how many options? I have 4 colors option: black, blue, green, red. Similarly, for the second pen, I have again 4 options, and for the third pen, I have 4 options. So, total number of ways in which 3 colors can be selected for the 3 pens among the 4 colors is 4 into 4 into 4. Okay? This is the sample space. Have you understood this thing? 4 cube. 4C3 is not the answer, because 4C3 means what? You are picking up 3 things from 4 things. It's not the case like you have black, blue, green and red. You are not required to just pick 3 things. Your answer will be correct if you are saying 4C3 into 3, because for each pens, the number for each particular pen, the number of ways are 4C3, and for 3 pens, the total number of ways will be 3 into 4C3. Understood? Understood or not? So now what is the favorable cases? Favorable cases are all those cases where the pen will be having the same color, Now, like the case of die that we have seen, for the die to be having the same number on all the 3 dice. Remember that question? We said that it depends only upon the numbers, the total numbers which are possible on one die. So if I say that the total number of permissible color are only 4, then the ways in which all the 3 planes will be having the same color will be 4 only. And what are all those possible cases? They can be either of red color, or there can be either of green color, or black colored, and or blue colored. These are your possible 4 cases. So your answer will be 4 by 4 cube, that is 1 by 16. This was not correct, because this means that you can pick only 1 pen among the 3 pen to be of 1 color. Okay, this is not the case. You can pick 2 pens to be of blue color, you can pick 2 pens to be of black color. So that's why this is your giving wrong answer, but this is your right answer, because you can have first pen as of 4 colors, second pen among the 4 colors, and third pen among the 4 colors. You have considered in this way. You have said that for first pen I have 4 options, but as soon as you give one option or one color to the first pen, then what will you do? You will say that the remaining 2 have become now fixed. That is, if here is red, there should be red. That is only one option available to them, not 4 options. Okay. Understood this question? I'll repeat it again. So, here the task was like this, that you are going to a shop and the number of pens of each colors is not fixed. It's not the case that the shopkeeper is having only one blue colored pen. Okay, he may have more than one blue colored pen, so you can choose either 3 of the pens as blue, or 2 of the pens as blue, or none of the pens as blue. Yes, and but the thing is that you should choose 3 pens. Now the 3 pens is having 4 different options. So for first pens you have 4 cases, for second 4, and for the third 4 also. So 4 cube is the answer, sample space. And for favorable cases, it just depends upon how many colors do you have, not on how many pens you are picking up, because if the number of ways in which the first pen is selected is 4, for the remaining 2 it becomes 1 only, because now the color which is selected over here, it should be the same on these 2. So that is why only 4 ways like this, and the answer is 1 by 16. Use it and tell you the decimal value. So it is 0.0625. Yes, correct.